Hi, Dave Snyder here. It is the 24th of August 2016, and I was checking some. I was looking for the weather for 2004 Indonesia. You know, the day of the earthquake and the tsunami, and I came across this page because when to go. December. It's like a travel site or whatever, and they call Indonesia the land of the dragons, which means volcanoes. I guess I would imagine that means land of the volcanoes. So that in Indonesia, apparently, a dragon is a volcano. So then I was looking. I went back. I think I was looking at this day in weather history right here. Okay, I went here. Come on now. Don't mess me up here. Okay, so here they talk about the some other days, George Washington and this other thing that happened in South Dakota, and then they come down to here, and then I clicked here for more of this day in weather history, right? So I click here, and everybody knows we had that big earthquake in Italy this morning, right? Okay, well here you go. Today in weather history, stratovolcano Mount Vesuvius erupted on this day, burying the Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. So I'm watching the news this morning at 8 o'clock. What is it? It's like noon now. I was watching the news this morning. They were talking about the earthquake, and I was thinking that instantly. I'm thinking volcano. Italy. This got maybe Mount Vesuvius is getting ready to erupt. Right? That's exactly what I thought. And then I just now found this a few minutes ago. August 24th, 79, almost 2,000 years ago, or whatever, 2,000. Close enough. Mount Vesuvius erupted, and then I think that's pretty crazy. That's the first thing you want to look when you get an earthquake in a place like that. You better check the volcanoes that are in that area big time. And then we got another one here. They're talking about how this day in weather history, 24th, this Hurricane Andrew made landfall. Okay, well this is I guess this would be hurricane, or maybe that's today or something. I don't know. But hurricanes in the Atlantic or typhoons in the Pacific are created by undersea eruptions. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe that if you don't want, but that's what it shows. And so that would be like a volcanic eruption on that day, or a day before, or a couple days before the 24th, probably, because of this, it had to be created and moved across to make landfall. Anyways, then I got down to this. I'm scrolling down and I'm going. Although earthquakes are not related to weather, it is the broadcast meteorologist that people go to for more details when these quakes hit. And I laughed. I laughed when I read that. Totally laughed. Although earthquakes are not related to weather, that is bullshit. When there's an earthquake and then followed by an eruption under the ocean, they are directly linked to the hurricanes and the typhoons and the cyclones, and that they create that weather. Usually you'll have an earthquake and then an eruption, but you can't see the eruption because it's under the ocean. Nobody, and if I'm sure they know the weather, NOAA knows that it is an eruption under the sea, but they're not going to advertise it or broadcast it as that because they just don't do it. They got their own little game going, how they say they're created or whatever. But that's, to me, from what I've seen researching the weather over the years, that's what creates them. Usually there'll be a couple of earthquakes, and then you'll see a cyclone, form, like down by New Zealand and by Tonga and all them places, or in the Western Pacific over by Japan right now. You got that one stalled out right now, right here. Right there, that's an eruption. That starts out as an eruption. It heats up the column of water and then starts to rotate. That's what I believe. And then right here, I was looking here in this spot where you see this big spiral pattern here, and I was thinking Indonesia better look out too, or whatever, Sumatra or whatever. They better watch out too because they got something going on right here. You can see basically a wall and a fault right here where this water or where this circulation is going back into itself right here. Here, hold on. You see it circulating and then hitting a wall, basically, and then coming back up and just over and over again. You see that repeat, and I was thinking to myself, these guys better prepare for something happening there. And I went and looked on the latest earthquakes, Sure enough, today, 5.8 and a 4.7 right there. And the weather there is pretty interesting. Let's see, which one am I looking at here? This one, no, not that one. I don't know if I have that. Oh, right here. Look at the weather there in this area today. You don't think the weather has something to do with those earthquakes? I firmly believe that it does. And then today, we're up in Myanmar where they had the one. You can see in Thailand there's pretty serious weather, but you also see this line cut off where that weather would continue over that line, but they don't show it. This is basically the line they show you in the weather on this map. Watch. Oh, look, what's this? Cutting us off from that. It was there just a minute ago. Wow. But you see this line right here and the line right there. I don't know what happened here. This is wasn't like this a minute ago, but they're hiding something. More than likely, something just happened there. Possibly. Yep. That's interesting. But anyways, you see right here in this area, right here, there's a spot right here. Well, earlier, that's on at 7:55, and if you go earlier, it's more defined and more over the top of the epicenter area. And if you recall, I don't know if you watch the weather very much, but you will often see this big purple spot in the, well, if you're using the enhanced, you will see this big, well-defined circle spot, storm or whatever it is over this area. It's all in this area right here. You'll see it right in this area, very well defined, and usually the cyclones will track right through here, right over the top where that earthquake happened today. So I believe that was an eruption, or maybe an earthquake, that's gonna, related to an eruption, the possible eruption. It may not be an eruption today, but it's an earthquake. It doesn't have to have an eruption to have an earthquake, but that, something's going on underneath the ground in that area. There's this, you see that right there, and you come up to this time, and it's basically moved off. So that's a good thing, actually. We don't see any more activity there really in the weather, because if we did continue to see like a big spot in the weather there, I would say that we would continue to be at risk for another one there. That would be my opinion, my forecast. And then Italy. Now I'm not exactly sure where that earthquake took place in Italy today, but you see the weather here is not enhanced. This is the only section of this map that's enhanced is this strip right here. And it's funny because if you go to Google Earth and look at the weather on Google Earth, you'll see that that's the only spot that's shut off all the time. See it? That strip is shut off. Oh, well, no, it's actually right here. But see how this strip is shut off where the cyclone would be? Man, I'm telling you, this has been like this for years, people. They have not. This is a satellite. They shut this down constantly, every day, part of the day. It's not every day. You'll see this like this on Google Earth. Sometimes you turn it on and the weather will be there, but most of the time, if there's any kind of thing going on in this area of the Earth, that they won't show. They'll shut this down. So I'm just letting you know that interesting things on this day in weather. Oh, look at that 7. South America right here. Anyways, have a good day. Eruption along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge or the Canary Islands or something like that. All right, be on alert.